Welcome to our countdown of the 10 most dangerous countries to visit worldwide. From war-torn landscapes to regions plagued by unrest, we venture into the heart of danger. Our journey takes us across continents, through bustling cities and remote landscapes, each bearing the scars of conflict and instability. Stay tuned as we reveal the places you might want to think twice about before planning your next adventure. Our journey into the heart of danger begins in Syria, a nation ravaged by a protracted civil war. For over a decade, this once vibrant country has been trapped in a brutal conflict, leaving its cities in ruins and its people displaced. The echoes of gunfire and shelling are a grim reminder of the ever-present danger that permeates daily life. The once magnificent ancient city of Aleppo, now a ghost town of rubble and bullet-ridden buildings, serves as a stark reminder of the devastating impact of conflict. Until peace is restored and stability returns, Syria remains a no-go zone for those seeking to explore the world's wonders. We journey eastward to Afghanistan, a landlocked nation grappling with the resurgence of the Taliban. The withdrawal of international forces in 2021 marked a turning point, leaving the country in a precarious state. The Taliban's swift takeover has ushered in an era of uncertainty and fear, particularly for women and girls who face severe restrictions. The presence of groups like ISIS-K adds another layer of complexity to the already volatile security situation. Despite the beauty of its landscapes, from the towering Hindu Kush mountains to the ancient city of Herat, Afghanistan remains a dangerous destination. Until security and stability are restored, it is a country best admired from afar. Our journey into the world's most dangerous countries takes us to South Sudan, the world's youngest nation, grappling with the devastating consequences of a brutal civil war that has torn the nation apart. Despite its independence in 2011, South Sudan has been plagued by internal conflict, with various factions vying for power and control, resulting in a catastrophic humanitarian crisis that has left millions in dire need of aid and assistance. The scars of war are etched deeply into the landscape, visible in the destroyed infrastructure and abandoned villages and widespread poverty. Violent crime is rampant, with communities living in constant fear, fueled by the proliferation of weapons and the breakdown of law and order. The lack of a stable government has only worsened the situation, as the presence of armed militias further exacerbates the danger, leading to frequent clashes and skirmishes, perpetuating a cycle of fear and instability that seems unending. While South Sudan possesses breathtaking natural beauty, with its vast landscapes and diverse wildlife, the risks associated with travelling there are simply too high. The ongoing conflict and instability make it a perilous destination for even the most seasoned travellers. Chapter 4. Iraq. Haunted by the spectre of conflict. We arrive in Iraq, a country forever marked by the scars of conflict. While efforts are underway to rebuild, the threat of terrorism remains a grim reality. The presence of various armed groups further complicates the security situation, disrupting daily life. Traveling to Iraq requires careful consideration and a high degree of caution, especially near the borders with Syria and Iran. Despite the challenges, Iraq is a country of resilient people, rich history and cultural heritage. Chapter 5. Somalia: Lawlessness on the Horn of Africa. For over 3 decades, Somalia has been ravaged by civil war, the absence of a functioning central government, and the rise of powerful militias. Al-Shabaab, an Al-Qaeda affiliate, controls vast swathes of territory, posing a constant threat to peace and security. The lack of basic infrastructure makes travel in Somalia extremely challenging and dangerous. Kidnapping for ransom is another ever-present danger, targeting both locals and foreigners. Until peace and stability are restored, it is a destination best avoided. Chapter 6. Yemen, a nation held hostage by conflict. Yemen, a nation on the brink of collapse, is ravaged by a brutal civil war that has plunged the country into a humanitarian catastrophe. The conflict, which began in 2015, has shown no signs of abating, leaving the population in a perpetual state of fear and uncertainty. The conflict has decimated the country's infrastructure, crippled its economy, and left millions on the brink of starvation. Schools, hospitals and homes lie in ruins, and essential services are almost non-existent. The lack of clean water and sanitation has led to outbreaks of cholera and other diseases. The threat of airstrikes and the presence of various armed groups make navigating Yemen incredibly dangerous. The skies are often filled with the roar of jets, and the ground is a battleground for numerous factions, each vying for control. Kidnapping for ransom is a constant concern, making it imperative to maintain an extremely low profile. Foreigners and locals alike are at risk, and the fear of abduction adds another layer of peril to daily life. The humanitarian crisis in Yemen is one of the worst in the world, with millions facing starvation and collapsed healthcare systems. Refugee camps are overcrowded, and aid organizations struggle to meet the overwhelming needs of the population. Despite its rich history and stunning landscapes, Yemen remains a no-go zone for travelers. The ancient cities and breathtaking vistas are now overshadowed by the ongoing conflict, making it a land of lost opportunities and shattered dreams. Chapter 7. Central African Republic, a cycle of violence and instability. Despite its wealth of natural resources, this landlocked country has been plagued by poverty, corruption, and a long history of coups and conflicts. The Central African Republic, rich in diamonds, gold, and uranium, remains one of the poorest nations in the world. The wealth from these resources rarely benefits the general population, instead fueling corruption and power struggles. Armed groups control large swathes of territory, terrorizing civilians and engaging in brutal acts of violence. These groups often exploit the country's resources to fund their operations, perpetuating a cycle of violence and instability. Civilians live in constant fear, with many forced to flee their homes. The lack of a strong central government and the limited reach of law enforcement agencies have created a climate of impunity. Government instability has made it difficult to implement effective policies or maintain order. Law enforcement is often underfunded and ill-equipped to handle the widespread violence. The humanitarian crisis in the Central African Republic is dire, with hundreds of thousands displaced and dependent on humanitarian aid. Refugee camps are overcrowded and resources are scarce. International organizations struggle to provide the necessary support amidst ongoing conflict. While the Central African Republic boasts breathtaking natural beauty, the risks associated with traveling there are simply too great. Its lush forests, diverse wildlife and scenic rivers remain largely unexplored by tourists due to the persistent danger. The country's potential for ecotourism is overshadowed by its instability. Chapter 8. Libya, the crumbling nation. Since the overthrow of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011, Libya has struggled to establish a stable and unified government. Rival factions, each backed by external powers, have plunged the country into a chaotic and violent power struggle. The presence of numerous militias has created a dangerous and unpredictable security environment. Despite its rich history and stunning Roman ruins, Libya remains a dangerous destination. The ongoing conflict and lack of security make it a country best avoided until peace and stability are restored. Chapter 9. Venezuela, Descent into Chaos. Once a prosperous nation, Venezuela has experienced a dramatic decline, plunging millions into poverty and triggering a mass exodus of its citizens. The economic collapse has led to a breakdown in law and order, with violent crime rampant. The political climate is highly polarized and volatile, with protests often met with a heavy-handed response. Despite its natural beauty, Venezuela remains a dangerous destination. The economic collapse, political instability and high crime rates make it a country best avoided until stability and security are restored. Chapter 10. Nigeria, a nation divided. In the northeast, Boko Haram continues its reign of terror, carrying out brutal attacks and kidnappings. In the northwest and central regions, banditry and kidnappings for ransom have surged. The Niger Delta faces its own set of security challenges, with militant groups frequently attacking oil installations. Despite its vibrant culture and entrepreneurial spirit, Nigeria remains a dangerous destination. The ongoing security challenges and high crime rates make it essential to exercise extreme caution when considering travel to this complex and troubled nation. Thank you for watching our countdown of the 10 most dangerous countries to visit worldwide. Remember, safety should always be your top priority when planning your travels. Stay informed, stay safe, and see you in our next video where we'll explore more fascinating corners of the globe. Until then, may your journeys be filled with adventure and wonder, not fear and peril.